Hey there, Tony Jones and
The Reverend Russell, and this is the Hardest Question video blog. And this week we are looking at Pentecost, and we decided that since it is Pentecost, we're going to not go with the gospel like we usually do, and straight to the heart of the matter, Acts 2.
yeah. So here's my question. For a lot of Christians, not particularly from my tradition growing up, more of a mainline Protestant tradition, but for a lot of Christians, and I would say for the biggest contingent of growing Christianity in the world, Pentecostalism
for sure.
and the charismatic church.
Yeah.
This passage and the day of Pentecost is a super important day. Some of us think Good Friday, some of us think Easter, some of us think Christmas, but for a lot of Christians, Pentecost is like the high holy day of Christianity. So my question is, why didn't it change anything?
Yeah.
I mean, like the tongues of fire,
Right.
the speaking in tongues. Peter preaches this incredible sermon.
Right.
300. It's the reversal of the Tower of Babel, and then blah blah. And I mean, I would even ask the same thing about a lot of Pentecostals point to the Azusa Street revival in 1906
for sure.
as like a second Pentecost.
Yeah,
and again, I look around, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so what's
I know. Have you been to Azusa Street lately?
What's changed?
Yeah, I don't know. Like what this is the birth of the church, here, and it is the reversal of Babel. And thinking about the Tower of Babel, like God thought that that they are all of one language, and somehow that this was going to be a difficulty, and they needed to be divided, spread out. So is this some reunifying kind of a thing here? And if it is, to what end? It didn't seem like it. Things don't seem very unified, like anywhere.
Right. So I guess one of the things in preaching this text this week that I think I would challenge preachers to dive into is for those of us, and I'm guessing the readership of THQ is primarily same as me, mainline, and maybe Pentecost isn't such a high holy day, or we view it much more symbolically.
Or I think that maybe more my tradition too, people who kind of like are maybe left center evangelicals who maybe they grew up with Pentecost being somewhat important, but have kind of moved away from that, but still have some of that lingering in them. So they feel like, I do have to take this seriously.
Yeah.
I don't really know how, but I probably should.
So there's the question, I guess, if this day is so important, this day in Acts 2, not necessarily this day in the liturgical calendar, but the day that's recorded in Acts chapter 2 here by Luke, if it's so important to so many Christians worldwide, how do we deal with it for those of us who won't have people speaking in tongues in our church this Sunday?
No. Yeah, what do we do? Because this does seem like, it's the classic problem we always have with the hardest question is when you read the text and you see the plain meaning of the text, you go, I'm going to proclaim preach about the day when the Holy Spirit came and filled the church, and all the church was thinking miraculous things happened, and so that's what it says. But every one of your people are going to be sitting out there and going like, so? Like,
why doesn't it happen today?
Yeah, right. Why not? Let's get it going on now.
Where are those tongues of fire when I need them?
Right. So what happened to the
Or looking at you going, hey, preacher, how come when you preach 3,000 people don't convert?
Yeah, it's good.
Peter was just a dumb Galilean fisherman. Look what he did.
So I think you can't preach this without preaching what happened in the intervening 2,000.
Where's the Pentecost magic?
Where is the Pentecost magic?
That's my question.
All right. This has been the Hardest Question video blog.